We are going to paint Pears, Bartlett Pears today. I've got my photo right here in my hand because when I put it up here, it glares. So I'm going to hold it in my lap. I may even just clip it here on the other side. There, that's going to work. Okay, so let's begin. I've got some permanent yellow light mixed up on my palette along with permanent green number 1, and then I've gone ahead and I've mixed up some orange, and eventually I will add some blue. We are going to start with the pears. So fun, because I know all of you are worried about doing that background, and when we do, we're going to lay the painting flat. I'm working upright today, and let's begin. So the first thing I'm going to do is, with clear, clean water, I am going to brush my pears with water. Remember, I'm working upright, so I've got to be sure things are not going to roll down the page. But I'm going to go ahead and lay in my first color, which will be the permanent yellow light. I want you to notice how thin my wash is. It is very light and very pale. I have an insurance policy, and here it is. I want you to write it down. It is one pale layer on top of 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 one pale layer until you're done. There. One pale layer done. I'm going to pick up that little bit of a puddle there, and I'm going to go ahead and add water to the second pear. I am on a very nice sheet of Arches 140 rough. It's cold press paper. What this will allow me to do is paint just about 45 minutes with a nice wet surface. Okay. The watercolor will dry 20% lighter, by the way. So this is what I would call a damp surface. And with a damp surface, I can start to add some of the green. This is where all those warm-ups come in handy, because what we do in our warm-up is sharpen our observational skills so that just adding this green paint is not daunting and we're not overwhelmed by it. We can see it, we're going to put it in there, and we're going to build slowly. Over here, the same thing. By building slowly, we have a chance to let the painting speak to us as well. So already I'm enjoying those pears and the softness of, of each layer. I've got 2 layers on there. I'm going to introduce the orange because I want it to be soft. This may be the only layer of orange I put on here other than the dots. And I will just soften that a little bit. I'll add a little orange over here. This one is just a little more wet. I paint with my brush in the right hand and a paper towel in my left. I'm not worried right now if I go out of the lines because the blue paint will cover up everything. It goes outside of the line, if you will. All right, I've got some there we go. All right, I have 3 layers down, or 3 glazes. We can soften this one. I'm going to introduce just a little bit of Viridian because I see it in my photo and it's going to be right here. Really soft. Notice I'm not going to the edges either. And when I say that, I mean I'm not moving out to the edge. I'm going to let the light just catch right there. This Viridian is mixing with the permanent green, and I like it. I lifted a little of it off right there because I want to build it just a little slower. Yeah. The paper is still damp and we are 8 minutes into our video. Gonna add a little of the Viridian down here. And a little over here. Over here, this one is starting to dry, this pear. It's a little more line. You know, I think our photos will print differently depending on our printers. So my photo is picking up on a Viridian. Your photo may not. I'm softening those edges. Okay, we're gonna end this photo or this video because I need to let this dry, and I'm gonna tell you why. That is called a backwash, and if I keep going, I'm gonna have a whole bunch of these. So what that means is the paint is drying. So I have a half dry surface or more than half dry surface, and I'm trying to add more water so it just collects and makes those backwashes. We also call them cauliflower marks, but let's let this dry and we will continue.